I was talking. He waited until I was talking to tell me to move on. Let's move on. What's more likely this weekend? The 5-1 Dolphins at the 5-1 Eagles on Sunday Night Football, NBC and Peacock. The Dolphins rush for over 150 yards or under 100 yards. What's more likely, Chris?
Oh, I'm going to go under 100. I'm going to go under 100. It's dicey. And you don't feel comfortable with anything when you talk about the Dolphins offense. I think a little bit of that is I would like to know Jalen Carter's health, because Jalen Carter is the best defensive lineman on the Eagles and already one of the best defensive linemen in all of football. So his health is paramount to this, but I think that's where they're not going to let the run game go off, and I think they got a great defensive line that'll be able to slow that down a little bit.
Jalen Carter was limited in practice yesterday with the ankle injury that kept him out of the Week 6 loss to the New York Jets. So I still think the Dolphins are going to get over 150 rushing. I still think they're going to. I just think that they're
kind of unstoppable. Is that what you're saying?
I just think they're yeah. Even without Devon Achane, I just think that they're gonna be clicking.
I can see it being
and if the choices are over 150 or under 100, I got to go over 150.
Yeah,
I think
it's a tough number. It's a tough number.
That's how these are set up.
Yeah.
Maybe the most likely is 100 to 149, but between the two, I'll go over 150.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this being something where the Eagles go all in to stop one thing, and another thing goes crazy in the game, right? Maybe they go all in to stop Tyreek and the passes and all that, and then it leads to 200 yards rushing. I could also see them going all in and going, wait, we're not going to let them run, because once they start doing that, the play-action pass and Tyreek over the middle and Waddle over here, we can't stop it. But, you go all in to stop the run, and then all of a sudden you look up and go, damn, Tua throw for 450 on us. I could see that happening. I'm so excited for this football game. We obviously have the best game of the week here with these two teams. I mean, these are all-star football teams, really about as unbelievably built teams as you can imagine over the last 10 years. I mean, it's up there with anybody as far as the talent these two teams got across the roster.
Only 13 games this weekend, and you're right. Dolphins at Eagles, 2 5-1 teams, best game of the week. A great game, though, at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chargers, despite being 2-3, we've seen them play the Chiefs tough. They're the one team in the AFC West that can compete with the Kansas City Chiefs on a regular basis. What's more likely? Justin Herbert, we mentioned him earlier, has a few head-scratching misfires, like when he missed Keenan Allen wide open on Monday night, or Patrick Mahomes has a head-scratching interception. What's more likely?
I think I'm going to go with the Justin Herbert head-scratching misfires. I think that's what I would go with there. I feel like Mahomes, these are the type of games, like last game, he wasn't sharp, or not as sharp as we know him to be, right? He threw an interception. Did he throw 2 last game? I can't even remember exactly what it was. But either way, I feel like this is the get right game where their offense will be totally focused and back clicking, and because they're not going to like how they looked on Thursday night, and of course now they have a long 10 days to do it. So I'm going to go with the head scratching misfires.
This is one of the things that I think the NFL needs to strive to be a little more fair about too. Chargers played Monday night.
Yeah.
Chiefs played Thursday night.
Yeah.
There's an extra baked-in advantage for the Chiefs coming home with the extra time and the Chargers' short week having to travel. It's going to be a tough one for the Chargers, and I agree with you. I think it's more likely we're going to see some head-scratching misfires from Justin Herbert. And look, they've already made the decision to pay Herbert. It ain't his fault if it doesn't work this year. It's going to be reset of the coaching staff, and they're going to find somebody to get the most out of Justin Herbert. And we've already said this. The buzzards are going to be circling early around that Chargers job because of Justin Herbert. He's got the tools. And the point that Peter King makes all the time, the Bill Walsh quote, if I see a guy do it once, I can coach him to do it all the time.
That's right.
There's enough great stuff that Justin Herbert can do. With the right coaching, he'll be doing it all the time, and he will be unstoppable.
Hey, real quick,
Lions
Mike, just off of that. He obviously missed some throws the other night. There's no doubt. I mean, I was texting with Pete during the game going, damn, I've never seen him miss some of these throws for sure. But also, hey, I mean, he was under pressure. That's where, sacks are a little overrated. I know they got 1 sack at the end of the game. He was under pressure in that game more than any other quarterback in any game all year. And those are stats that, I could stand by because, pressure, yeah. The pocket was collapsing around him on a consistent basis. He's a super talented guy, but, yeah, he was not on his game the other night.
Another good game this weekend will happen in Baltimore where the 5-1 Lions invade the Ravens Stadium. I can't remember the name of it, M&T Bank or something like that.
I think it's M&T Bank, right.
There goes our M&T Bank sponsorship. The Ravens are 4-2. What's more likely, the Ravens rush for under 75 yards against that Detroit defense or over 125? Detroit is holding teams to an NFL best 65 yards per game rushing. Their run defense was 29th last year, so this is a hell of an improvement. What's more likely, under 75 for Baltimore or over 125?
Oh, I know. These are tough numbers to put because, Pete's got it right here. The sweet spot would be somewhere in between. Detroit is hard to run against. They got some big dudes up front. Both their D tackles are 320 plus. You got the freak of nature, Aiden Hutchinson on one side. They start the Kaminsky guy, who's kind of like a hybrid D tackle, D end on the other D end. They're tough. They got some thumping linebackers in the middle. I'm going to go with the over the 125. Because with Baltimore, of course, they are a really good running football team. They're different defending them because of the Lamar element and his runs. And then also, Lamar is bound to rip off a run here and there or at every, a scramble, I'm trying to say, not the traditional run. So I'll go with over 125. Below 75 is just a little too low. I don't love either one of these numbers, but I'm going to pick 125.
This is a tough spot for the Lions. This is a tough spot. We've seen them win at Arrowhead Stadium. They've won, 4 in a row since losing week 2 at home to the Seahawks. This is a tough spot to go into Baltimore because we've seen what the Ravens can do when they're fully focused and when things are clicking.
Definitely.
Now, coming back from London, does that affect him? I don't know. But Lamar Jackson is looking pretty damn good this year. And a couple of runs from him, and you're going to be in the neighborhood of getting team total over 125. So I'll go with you over 125. Last one, Monday Night Football, 5-1 49ers at the 2-4 Vikings. What's more likely? Brock Purdy's MVP odds go up or down as a result of Monday night's game?
Ooh, well, this will be, this is bad news for your Vikings. Pissed off 49ers team coming to town.
I already accept
loss.
it. I know.
Yep.
I know.
I'm going to say MVP odds get better. I just think they'll be an ultra-focused team. He played his worst game of his career. He played bad last week. There's no other way to say it. It was bad. It really was. He missed throws and was uncomfortable and everything during that football game. We know how good they are. They still had a chance to win it at the end. But, yeah, I just think that this offense – your Vikings defense is much better. Brian Flores and his game plans scare me a little bit, but I think we'll get back to efficient 49er Brock Purdy type football, and he'll put up some good numbers and improve that number. But again, to me, the MVP of the 49ers is that guy that runs the ball at running back wearing number 23. I'm going to fight this all year. I am. I'm going to fight it with the Dolphins, and I'm going to fight it with the 49ers. That's the damn MVP of the team. The whole team revolves around him. When he's not doing really well, we saw last week, the offense fell off a little bit. He's the MVP, even though I know it's the quarterback on the best team. I'm so sick of that damn conversation, but his MVP odds will get better after this one.
We don't know what Christian McCaffrey's status is going to be on Monday night. We'll get the injury reports Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the Monday night game. There have been mixed signals as to whether or not McCaffrey will play. If he doesn't play and Purdy has a big game, prime time, everyone watching, that gives Purdy a little bit of a boost.
It does. You're right.
It's going to give him a boost.
It is.
If they could go out there and play really well without Christian McCaffrey, then maybe some folks say, okay, I'm going to put some of my money on Purdy for MVP, and the odds are going to move accordingly.
Now, what if they do? What if they do really good? If they do he has, what if Jordan Mason runs for 150, right? What do you think that'll still people will go, well, damn, they ran the ball, or do you think just McCaffrey not being in there will be enough?
I think McCaffrey not being in there, if they win convincingly, that's enough to give Purdy a bump.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because people will say, okay, Purdy's. They can do it without McCaffrey. Can they do it without Purdy? I'm not sure they can do it without McCaffrey. If McCaffrey doesn't play Monday night, maybe it gets a little more interesting. And maybe Brock Purdy, after having his first real full game adversity, setting aside the injury that happened in the NFC Championship, but just stuck in mud and the weather was an issue. It won't be an issue Monday night, but how do you coach him past his worst performance in the NFL, his worst full game performance? How do you coach him beyond that and get him ready to go? How much of it lingers in his head? This is part of the curve. Which way is he going to go? Is he going to keep going up, or has he found a plateau? It's going to depend on what the Vikings do defensively. It's going to depend on whether or not they have Christian McCaffrey. It's going to depend on what your guy Kyle Shanahan can do by way of talking Purdy through and past what happened last week.
Oh, I texted him. I said, make sure you kick the shit out of Florio's Vikings. Let's go Niners.
I already know what's coming. I mean, I don't care. I've accepted it. The Vikings are 2-4 somehow. Yeah, and my son said they could be 6-0. It's like, yeah, I guess they could be, but they still would. It would be just like last year where we know what's coming. You win all these games by the skin of your teeth, and then you lose in the playoffs, or you eventually get blown off the field by an elite team. They're going to get blown off the field by an elite team on Monday night. Spoiler alert for the coming Mega Picks podcast. I'm picking the 49ers to win on Monday night. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.